If you're on the lookout for a new pair of jeans, fancy a new shirt, just want to update your wardrobe, today you are in luck. The Football Terrace is again partnering with Boohoo Man, where we can give you an extra 10% off their entire clothing range on their website right now. All you need is promo code TFT10 and or the link in our description below. So when you're finished here, go check it out. Go get yourself some brand new clobber. A little bit of a discount from the Terrace. Big thank you to Boohoo Man. Now just smash this like button. Let's start the stream. Let's go. Welcome back to the Terrace. 1-1. Southampton take points away from Manchester City. The first team to do that since October. They stopped the winning run. And have they just kept the door open? Have they just kept the door open for Liverpool Football Club? There is a 12-point gap at the top of the league. 12-point gap at the top of the league, but Liverpool have 2 games in hand. Win those matches, Liverpool will sit 6 points behind them. 6 points. And they still have to face each other later on down the line. There is hope. There is hope for Liverpool Football Club. There is no doubt about it. It's why Chelsea's defeat to Man City was so terrible. Not in terms of the performance or the score line, but the points difference. Liverpool still have an opportunity here. I want to say at the top of this video, Southampton were absolutely brilliant defensively today. And Man City passed through them. They had more of the ball. They had more attempts. They were the most dangerous side. But Southampton themselves could have scored a few goals in this game. Hitting the post. Brojan, who looks excellent. What is he doing away from Chelsea? I do not know. I have no idea why he's not a Chelsea Football Club. It's an absolute madness to me that he's not there. They could well do with him. But I'm just looking at the table now. It's in front of me. 57 points. Manchester City are on. Liverpool there on 45 points. It's going to be, look, the second half this season is going to be very, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. I'm very excited about it. I can't really wait to see how it's going to transition, how it's going to come through. City fans, are you feeling concerned at all? Are you worried? Liverpool fans, do you have a little bit more hope today than maybe you had yesterday? Here is the league table, as we've mentioned there on the screen so you can see it. There is that gap. Liverpool win tomorrow. They close it ever so slightly, but they can get it down to 6 points. And what's going to be really interesting for Liverpool is this run of games now, because Liverpool were going into the AFCON period where everybody said they would lose the ground. If they're able to win their next match, it just gets them a little bit closer before there's kind of like a couple of weeks hiatus with the international stroke winter break. You then have got the FA Cup games the first weekend back. So it isn't until like the 5th, 6th of February until we start playing Premier League football again. So the pressure kind of goes away. I'd go elsewhere. Man City are, of course, the outright favourites from this point. But there is ever so slightly an opportunity now. And you could kind of sense it across social media throughout the course of the game. City fans getting a bit frustrated. Liverpool fans on my timeline just praying for that win. Praying for that win from Southampton to do what they've got to do. Because that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the league. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the bounce. That stops that. And when we look at the Premier League fixtures on the way, the next match is Brentford, who they struggled against in London. They'll probably beat them. Then they're away to Norwich. And then Man City have 3 really tough games. 3 really tough games on the bounce. Against Tottenham, away at Everton, who by then might have a new manager, might be a little bit stronger. And then they play in the Manchester derby. That will take them up until around about the 5th of March. Remember, later on in the season, around about the early part of April, not too sure on the dates actually, Man City and Liverpool play each other. If there's 6 points in it between on that day and Liverpool win, there is a huge chance and a huge opportunity for Liverpool to complete one of the greatest Premier League comebacks. It's a long shot. It is a long shot, but the door is open. And as a football fan, I'm kind of glad to see City drop points. Not in a bitter way. Not in a, oh, yeah, I'm so happy. It's just a case of I'm happy to see I'm happy to see the title race not completely gone. You know, if City win today and Liverpool lose tomorrow, that's it. You know, by the way, the pressure is now on Liverpool tomorrow. They've got to go to Selhurst Park. It's been a place that at times has been difficult for Liverpool. They have to go and deliver and get that done. Now, in this topsy-turvy season, Liverpool will just lose tomorrow, and then it's actually a point gained by Man City, which could be would be massively annoying for them. There's no doubt at all. But credit has to go to Southampton today. Very resolute, very good structurally. It was another set piece goal, though, that really let them down and let Man City back into this game. Salisu, the centre back, was a brave heart. Do you know what? He was excellent today, and he really let them down against, I want to say it was Tottenham. When they played Tottenham and he got himself sent off, he really let them down because he didn't need to do that. But he was amazing today. Then some of the blocks were ball in his face and everything else, but credit where credit is due. Credit where credit is due. He was very, very good. Terry, Chelsea back in the title race. Let's not be silly. Chelsea are level on games with Man City, you know, and they're, 13 points? I would say that's a 9 impossibility. 6 points behind for Liverpool. If Liverpool can win their games in hand and just be 6 points. Listen, if Liverpool win their games in hand and City drop any points between now and their game, I mean, what would be amazing for that match is for Liverpool versus City at the Emirates, 3-point gap. A win for Liverpool brings them level. A win for Man City gives them that 6-point cushion. A proper 6-pointer of a game. James here says City are rattled. I wouldn't say they're rattled. I would say that it was an off day for City today. They had a lot of the play. They were very creative. They just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Today was a day where you just needed a Harry Kane, a Vlahovic, a Haaland in that team because he clears up some of those chances. Brojo over Lukaku. I see a lot of that on the timeline. I see it on my timeline. I saw so many Chelsea fans having a go at Lukaku today. It was a madness. Free Citizen here says Terry is so happy right now. Listen, it's not about ha City. That really isn't my emotion. It's the title race has been kept alive. And I'm going to be blunt with you. Title races, top 4 races, close, like interesting games in the Champions League. It's what my channel is about. If the title race was over and the top 4 race was over right now, let's say City were 20 points clear at the top, but the top 4 who currently stand with Man United, Chelsea, and Liverpool were 15 points clear of 5th place. The season would be boring now. There'd almost be no point watching games. So we need it. It's not about having a pop at City. It's about everything else. Now, there was some controversy in this game as well, though, that I do think we need to discuss. Should there have been a red card for Southampton? I want to get your view and your opinions on this. Should there have been a red card? A lot of people are suggesting that there should have been. The tackle was very high. I'm going to put an image up that we have of that for you right now, my people. Stuart Armstrong here, very late, very strong, as you can see on Laporte. Should this have been a red card with about 10 minutes or so in the game? Like, what's your take on it, people? I want to know what you think and feel about that, because if I'm being honest, I think City were a little hard done by. If I'm being honest, I think City should have had the numerical advantage and been playing versus 10 men for the remainder of the game. It isn't malicious. There was no intent to hurt. But surely that's a high, but like, it's dangerous. It's practically his hip. It's practically his hip. It's practically his hip. So I'm a little confused by that myself. I'm a little confused by that. For me, should have been a red card as far as I'm concerned. But I do want your take. I do want your feelings. I want to know what you think and feel. City fans, let me know. There was, of course, the penalty shout in the game. I thought it was outside the box anyway, and not a foul. I thought he was already on his way down. Then there was contact. I think they gave the right decision. But I've seen red cards. I've seen red cards before given for this. So I do feel that Man City have every right to feel a little aggrieved, a little frustrated, and a little bit annoyed at that. I really, really do. A comment here from Ryan says clear red. I agree with you, my friend. It absolutely is. One City voice says 100% a red. Agree with you completely. We have barely touched him. Look, I think he touched him enough. Clear red here. Out, get him out. Clear red is what's been said. The ball is also, the ball being high, I don't think is in the rule. I think the reason they didn't give it was because the touch, it didn't go through him it kind of caught him, if that makes sense. But still, for me, should 110% be, a red card. I don't have an incident in the game I want to speak about Raheem Sterling. I like Raheem Sterling. I praise Raheem Sterling a lot. This super chat here says straight red. If it was from my team, I would cry for it. Yeah, I hear you. Raheem Sterling's miss, or more so, Forster's save. I mean, Raheem Sterling's going to have nightmares about that for a long time. How he didn't score is beyond me. But Forster deserves so much credit. It was an astoundingly good save. It really, really was. It was just phenomenal. Stones literally got sent off last season for the same tackle, and Man City was poor. But let's talk about the ref. Yeah, look, I think the VAR made the wrong decision in relation to that. I think Southampton will be very, very proud of what they achieved today. And the only thing that City today reminded me of the Man City in the earlier parts of the season, where they were still winning games, but you obviously lost the opening day of the season. You drew with Southampton. You actually drew with Southampton earlier on in the campaign, drew with Liverpool, lost to Palace. There was 4 games in your opening sort of 10 that you didn't win. And that was very much because you were struggling to score goals at times. And that's what today felt like. It felt like a real struggle to score the goals, as far as I could see. Costa Chow here, says, Terry, I can't wait to call in. And finally, Doncaster Rovers won. Remember the name Ollie Youngster? He's 22, Sunderland centre-back, proper old school centre-back, one for the future. Well, congratulations to Donny FC. Long time no see, Daniel. He says Southampton should have had a penalty, by the way. City fans forget that. I believe City will win the title, is what the Bills got to say. I think most people believe City were going to win it at the start of the season, let alone now. But there's a chance, and I'm glad there's a chance, because that hope is what makes the games what you got to remember is that makes every single Liverpool game now high pressure. They can't afford to drop points anywhere. Every Liverpool game is a must win, which means as fans, we can put more pressure on them. We can make it harder on them. We can, run our mouths up a little bit more. That's the beauty of it, which is great. It's what we want as fans. If the games are meaningless, the banter goes. And football without banter is like Christmas without turkey. It's like a pub without beer. It's like ant without deck. You need it. Greetings from the Philippines. It's 3 a.m. here right now. As a Liverpool fan, I am not getting my hopes up, but I do believe in a 38-game season, luck would even itself out. And so far, we've been unlucky. Thank you very much for that super chat, and hello to you over in the Philippines. We got robbed by VAR. We should have had a penalty, and Southampton should have had a red card, is what Man City are winning the CL and PL this season has got to say to us here on the terrace. Sarim says, I go to the pub to drink water, Terry. What's your point? Terry, are you going to rip Cancelo, or is it only for Trent? Do you know what? I've said about this before, my bro. The only reason I single out Trent is because people protect him when he makes clear and obvious mistakes, so I single them out. When Cancelo has a poor game, when he's culpable, people call him out on it. So there isn't the need to overtly focus. I wouldn't focus anywhere near as much on Trent as I do if there wasn't zero criticism by people. So you understand what I'm applying a bit of an equilibrium here. And it's not so much to say he's bad, it's to understand why no one calls it out. Trent Alexander-Arnold is one of the very best right backs in the world, without a doubt. He's on a trajectory to become the greatest ever Premier League right back. But he can still make mistakes and be criticised. That's what it comes down to, my bro. So it's not that he can't make a mistake. It's that I want to see Liverpool fans admit he's made a mistake. That's it. I saw my timeline full of when Cancelo makes a mistake. He was poor there. You don't need to call it out. Don't need to call it out because it's already been admitted to. My point with Trent is, why doesn't he? I think you missed that. You missed that bit, bro. That's what it is. Terry, I agree with the commentator. Not enough for a red card in the moving image. If an image like you show looks red, so yellow was the correct decision. And I respect your opinion there, Bash. I respect your opinion there, my brother. I really, really do. Let's have a little look here. No, Terry, I want to challenge this. This is so unfair on Trent because people make out that he is an atrocious defender. Like I just said, bro, I know Liverpool fans don't want to hear this, but it's the truth. And I'm telling you this as a rival as to why we do it. We do it because when he makes a mistake, we see the laws of gravity. We see science give a new direction. We see every single which way excuse made to never apply any level of blame to his defending. He's told not to track back. No, these three players should have been in this position. He doesn't have to go with the runner. People make things up to protect him. He doesn't need protecting. We all know that he's world-class. When you have a world-class player, your rivals are going to focus on a bad performance. Do you know what would get Trent off the hook from rivals more? Liverpool fans just taking it on the chin every now and then and going, yeah, he was bad today. Then everyone goes, there's nothing to banter them about anymore. You bring it on yourselves. That's all it comes down to. If you go back to the last two shows where we spoke about it, it hasn't been, look at the mistake, look how bad he is. It's, look at the mistake, why are you all defending it? It's been understanding the psyche rather than looking at the player. So there isn't anything more to challenge, bro. That's why I do it. You may think that's wrong, but I want to know, and you kind of admitted it there in that, something you've implied to me in that message is, you Liverpool fans think he gets over-criticized for his defending. So what you've done is create this comfort blanket and this protection mechanism to stop it. That just makes us do it more as rivals. It's just the way football works, bro. I'm sure Liverpool fans do it. Like, look at Bruno Fernandes. I know you all know how good he is. But you focus on all these negative traits rather than the positive ones. It's just the nature of the beast, my bro. It's the nature of my beast. It's the nature of the beast. Jealousy and agenda against Trent is unbelievable. And listen, if you guys have watched, for you that have watched the Liverpool fans that have watched my show for 3-4 years, 5 years plus, will know I've always spoke about him as a brilliant, brilliant footballer. I don't even necessarily think his defending's bad. I don't think his defending is world-class yet, and nor should it be at 22, 23, however old he is now. What I find strange in the last few years is general defensive rules have been thrown out the window for him when it comes to analysis, and I don't understand why. But that's all. That's all it comes down to for me. VAR and the ref had bowed out City many times this season. Look and heard now at the City fans how unfair the ref and VAR doesn't. Yeah, listen, everybody wins some, everybody loses some. It's the nature of the beast. But you complain about it when rivals do it to Bruno. Yeah. And you guys do it more. I'm still a human being. I'm not flawless. I still make mistakes. What I'm saying to Nazir is, Aiden, is that's why people do it. If I stop being overly defensive of Rashford and Bruno, people would come for them less on my shows. I'm very aware of that. But I'm a human being and I've got emotions and feelings. It's all part of football. Honestly, I will say this to all football fans. If we remove banter and agendas towards our rivals, football would be boring. It'd be so boring if every Tottenham fan went, yeah, Arsenal are definitely better than us. Where's the fun in it, guys? Come on now. Come on now. Jota and Minamino masterclass tomorrow. GG for the Saints. I don't care for the Trent critiques. He's already on his way to being the GOAT right back, unlike Cancelo. Absolutely. He's on his way. He's very much on his way. I don't have. It's weird. Like none of Man City's players ever go into these like GOAT conversations, do they? And I always find it's because, and again, this isn't a dig. It's just an observation. I just don't think their fan base. I just don't think their fan base is big enough. I just don't think it's big enough, you know? So Terry is admitting there is an agenda. Bro, how long have you been... All rivals have agendas against their rival clubs. We all do, as a general rule. And even when we praise, even when like you praise your rivals, you ain't let it go so far and so you go, whoa, I'll back a bit, because there's only so much praise you can give a rival. That's it's football since I was born, brother. Football forever. We should do a poll. Do you want banter removed from football? Do you want agendas removed from football? It's mad. Yeah, it's mad. What we're saying here, Terry, Reece is 10 times the so look, Reece James isn't 10 times better. That's a mad exaggeration. That's a mad exaggeration. Anthony, you mug Terry. Thank you, my guy. Let's have a look at some more of these comments. Cancelo is clear of Trent, is what Lang and Sweet has got to say here. Terry is so biased. I don't think I am. As I said before, I think Trent's brilliant. And my point isn't that I have an agenda against Trent. I have an agenda to understand why he's overly defended. And I think he's overly defended because you think there's an agenda against him. It's just fun for me. I like the social experiment side of it. I like it. It's brilliant. What's it say here? The new world of supporters have no banter bone in their bodies. Do you know what's said? I hear you on that. Like, it's kind of weird. Some fans are weird with it. I don't really get it myself. But there we go. Reece is the better balance, but Trent is the more technical. Yeah, I think Trent's technical ability is better than Reece. His attacking element is better. I find Reece to be the better defender. I'm really intrigued to see Trent when a new manager comes in. And that's why when people say he's already the best ever in the Premier League, I'm going to reserve judgment into that point. If a new manager comes in, or if football kind of changes and the attacking element for Liverpool doesn't come down their right wing and he still maintains the same level of impact for his club, then he's going to become the GOAT. I'm just waiting on it. Like, I don't think you can crown a GOAT in his early 20s. I think that's too far. That's too much too soon. But he's the trajectory. And listen, Liverpool fans, I think I've got an agenda. It's like, what was I saying next? I read something at the same time. It's one of those things where with Trent, I listen to what I'm saying. I think he's on course to become the best ever right back in the league. That's high praise. Publicly call out hypocrisy whilst being a hypocrite. Well, we all do it. Like, as I say, and we all do it at times. We'll all do it at times where, like, you'll call out a player of a rival club, but then defend your own when he's called out. That's football. And every single YouTuber is a hypocrite towards their own club. Not on every single subject, but you'll definitely hypocrisize yourself at a point. I think most human beings do, my friend. 100%. And I'm big enough, strong enough, and ugly enough to admit that. Like, it's not really a problem for me. The fact that we are discussing Trent after a City draw shows the state of City fan base. Well, we're not. Liverpool fans brought it up. It wasn't the City fans that brought it up on here. To be fair, it was Nazir that had it. It was Nazir that said that. João Cancelo is the best right back this season. Cry more Liverpool and Chelsea fans. See, this is what you then get. Terry, you must not watch many Chelsea matches if you think Reece isn't technical. I did not say that Reece isn't technically gifted. I said that Trent Alexander-Arnold has more technical ability. That doesn't mean stop being polarized. That's the maddest bit. You can't praise one without the other guys getting angry. And that's the bit that isn't an agenda. Trent is technically, in my opinion, a better footballer than, in terms of his technique, than Reece James. But Reece James is still amazing. It goes without being said. It goes without being said, my bro. Come on now. Come on now. Statistically, Trent is the best Premier League playmaker. Yeah, he is. And Trent's playmaking abilities are absolutely astonishingly good. And that's primarily because his crossing and passing ability is pinpoint. He's the best crosser of the ball the Premier League has had since David Beckham. Since David Beckham, it's just unbelievably good. Unbelievably good. He really, really is. Terry, keep up the good work from a Liverpool fan. Don't know what your chat is going on about. He's 23 and defending getting better every year. Absolutely, Mike. And look, most Liverpool fans agree with what I've got to say on this. The defensive element is getting better and better. He's got a long way to go until he's considered the GOAT, but he's on the trajectory for it. There is no doubt about it. He's absolutely brilliant, Trent. But he's not above, like any player, he's not above criticism. Man United have got the greatest goal scorer of all time in their team right now, and he's being heavily criticized because he isn't doing enough. And I think that that's where it is. So I'm not against criticism or anything like that. And I know at times we all overly defend our players and we think our rivals are being too harsh. But then if you actually sit down, where I'm not a hypocrite, if we actually sit down and have a sensible conversation, you admit the flaws of your players. That's it for me. Thank you for the lovely comment. Terry, get a regular City fan in your channel and stop watching, or I'll stop watching your shows. We've got a few that we'll be bringing in. But listen, everybody that has tuned in, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. We really appreciate it. We're back tomorrow. We're in the studio tomorrow for match reactions, live watch along exclusively on Twitch. Before we leave, though, I want to say a big shout out to Boohoo Man. Thank you very much for sponsoring us today and partnering again. You can all get an extra 10% off of all of their clothes right now with our promo code TFT. We've got a link in the description. The promo code's in the description as well. Go and have a little look tonight. Go and actually do it right now. Go and take a look at the website. Got loads of great clothes on there. Good sales on as well with it being January. So go check it out. Until next time, my people, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again.